Dear students, don't worry, I'm wearing a shawl. It's pretty cold outside, at least to me. Today, the lecture would be a short one, but an important one in the sense that whatever we learn now, today, that will guide what we do while talking about the very important aspect called separation theorem for convex sets. We are talking about a special class of function called coercive functions. And coercive functions are linked to the notion of minimization. A function is said to be coercive if the functional value goes towards plus infinity whenever I make the norm of the x values go towards infinity. That when as the norm of the length of the vector x becomes larger and larger, the function values should go to plus infinity. X square, for example, is if fx equal to x square is an example of a coercive function. But if I am to talk about coercivity in line of minimization, then we should talk about the a reverse thing that if we talk about coercivity in the line of maximization, then we have to talk about a reverse thing which we will call anti-coercive, in the sense that limit of fx as norm x goes to infinity would become minus infinity. So what is the plus point of this coercive condition? The coercivity condition tells you that if you are looking for the minimization of any function f which is continuous over a closed set, then this additional assumption of coercivity gives you the existence of a minimizer. It doesn't talk about a maximizer, it talks about a minimizer. See, this coercivity idea is a replacement of the boundedness idea, that if you put C to be closed and bounded, you have a compact set and then you apply Weierstrass theorem. If I take away the boundedness idea, what happens to that? How do we handle the issue of the boundedness of continuous function over some set? So how do we do? How do you prove that a coercive function actually gives you a global minimizer? The idea is very simple. Suppose you choose x naught, and suppose it is not the minimizer. If it is the minimizer, you are lucky. If it is not the minimizer, then the minimizer must lie in this set LFX0, which is called the level set of f chosen at the point x0. That is f give that is governed by the value fx naught. That is, find all x in C so that the functional value must be uh, the functional value of fx must be less than fx naught. So because x naught is not the minimizer must be having a less than equal, but then it is not the minimizer, so the minimizer must be strictly less than. If x hat is the minimizer, then fx hat must be strictly less than fx naught. So it must lie somewhere in this set. So what coercivity does is to show that if coercive condition is there, then this set is bounded. And once you know that a set is bounded, you know that it will always have a minimizer. So there will be a point, the set is bounded and the function f is continuous. Over this set LFX naught, the function will have a minimizer, that there will be a x naught in LFX naught such that f of x, the x hat in f LFX naught such that x hat is the minimizer of f over LFX naught and hence over the whole of C. Because as we have argued that the minimizer of C must lie here, because any x which is outside this set must satisfy fx naught strictly bigger than fx naught strictly lesser than that x fx. So if I take a y which is not in LFX naught, then fx naught is strictly less than f of y. So a minimizer cannot lie outside this set. That you can understand. So proving, though I said that I leave it to you, to the reader or the viewer, to prove boundedness rather, or just prove the boundedness of LFX naught, because it's very simple. Suppose norm x is C is not bounded, so norm x can go to infinity, right? They can bound it because suppose it's unbounded, so you can move along in a direction and keep on increasing the length of a vector. But functional value fx cannot rise above fx naught if you take all values of x from lfx naught. So you can make norm x go to infinity, but you cannot make fx go to infinity, which will contradict this condition. And hence, if you consider that this set is unbounded, then that is there. I can find a norm x, or I can find a sequence of vectors x k such that norm x k will go to infinity, but f of x k would always remain less than fx naught, so limit of fx k would be less than equal to fx naught. That will not go to plus infinity, and hence coercivity would be broken. So lfx naught has to be bounded. So that's it. So for the maximizer case, you have to talk about anti-coercivity, which I am calling it anti-coercivity. I really do not know what it's called in the literature, because I've never studied in terms of maximization. I have always studied in terms of minimization, where coercivity comes. But economists would need this concept. And in that case, instead of using what is called a lower level set at x naught, you will use the upper level set at x naught. That is, you consider all set x in, not Rn, I'm sorry, but C, such that fx is greater than fx naught. So Weierstrass theorem will again give me the global maximizer. This is C, this is the closed set C, not Rn. So what is the relationship between coercivity and strong convexity? So if f from Rn to R is a rho strongly convex function, then f is coercive and hence has a minimizer over Rn, and being a strictly convex function, it has a unique minimizer. So if once we show that the function is coercive, then we know that the minimizer always exists, and then that minimizer has to be unique, because a strongly convex function is also strictly convex. So let us see, how do I prove it? We have given you a problem that if f is strongly convex and differentiable, then it satisfies this condition. This I told you would be x minus y or y minus x. There was a mistake here. So it satisfies this condition. So we'll start with the fact that let us fix an x naught in Rn. And because f is differentiable for any x in Rn, we'll get this condition. Now by Cauchy-Schwarz inequality, you will apply it on this. So this must be greater than the negative of minus norm fx naught into norm x minus x naught, because the modulus of this quantity is less than equal to norm of grad fx naught into norm of x minus x naught. So the quantity is actually lying between norm of fx naught into x minus x naught and minus norm of grad fx naught into norm of x minus x naught. So once you apply that, let us see what happens. Now observe that when norm x goes to infinity, right, we have norm x minus x naught going to infinity. So hence x minus x naught square will also go to infinity. So what would happen from here? As norm x goes to infinity, this part will go to infinity, so and hence this part has to go to infinity. Similarly, you can write norm x minus x naught square also. You can argue from here, but let us just give a more detailed argument. You have norm x naught square minus, there will be again inner product of x naught plus x square. Again you will apply the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality here on the inner product, and you will get this expression. Now as norm x is going to infinity, you know that the quadratic term will finally dominate this linear term, and it will rise much faster than the linear term. So this difference would become extremely large and will explode. Sorry, and this would be x naught square, not x square. It will be x naught square. So that's from 22, means this one. That's from 22. We see that this is coercive, because now this is going to infinity and this is also going to infinity. So when norm s goes to infinity, this is going to infinity, and hence it has to be coercive. So fx would go to infinity. This part is going to infinity, so fx has no choice. Now you might say that why have you used this condition? Why you have just spoken about differentiable functions? Because here you don't seem to talk about differentiable functions. Answer is yes. I chose differentiable functions because I have not yet developed the machinery to handle just just or it's just any strongly convex function. If I had the machinery, I could have done that. Unfortunately, I do not have the machinery yet. And the results which I require are pretty deep to use for the general case. So just I do for the differentiable case. That's enough for us for the time being. We will just our for doing separation theorems we will need the differentiable case only. So just remember this fact. So once you need coercivity, because it is also strictly convex and has a minimizer, then the minimizer is unique. This has to be also checked which theorem. The earlier one which you already know. That a strictly convex function, if it has a minimizer, is unique. So thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. Please do keep in mind this is a very, very important result in Hollow optimization theory. A lot of optimization theory just depends on this simple result. Good evening, or good night rather.